Hello again, everyone. This is Game Collector here with another Transformers animated review. This week, Transformers animated Samurai Prowl. You know, because he has the little tiny sidecar on the side. Although my name for him is Samurai Sidecar Prowl. But that aside, let's first get on to the figure without the accessory here. Oh, right. Well, since he's still not a figure yet, he does have rolly wheels, and the wheel on the sidecar spins. Naturally, the wheels should spin because he's a land-based vehicle, obviously. So, to remove the sidecar, pardon me, the camera's a bit close, let me pull it back a bit. Because this thing actually pegs in very nicely and very steadily. Shaking it won't pull it off. So you actually have to apply a good amount of pressure, but not enough to break it, obviously. And it pulls off there. Nice little standalone sidecar. Although it doesn't really do a very good job standing up on its own, so, I'll just set this off to the side for now. And we will focus on this remolded version of Prowl. Yes, this is a remold, and not just a redeco, even though it kind of is a little bit of both. Now, I don't remember exactly, but I think it's either both versions of the toy or this version of the toy that has the sergeant stripes going the reverse direction, pointing forward instead of pointing back. Yeah, on both sides. And in the show, no, not in the show. On the previous toy, one of these was blue and the other was red. Now both of them are blue, to go with the whole solid color thing going on here. And the other big change would be the paint applied to the wheels right here and here. No, wait. Those are the same. These are different. And these are different for a reason, and I'll get onto that once he's in robot mode. And yes, he has the little kickstand on his left leg. Yes, this is his left leg. So he can do that. So you just put that up. And when the sidecar is attached, you obviously don't need the kickstand anymore. So, no, the little handlebars wiggle. There's a reason for that, even though it's a real stupid one. Okay, first you split the arms, and I have to be careful with mine here because his left shoulder likes to do that a lot. So, split what will become the arms. So now he looks kind of like some sort of weird Japanese anime motorcycle now. And then you take these two fins here. And sorry if my voice goes out of sync. I have to look at my monitor to see if everything is still in shot. That's one of the things I really can't change until I get a really expensive camera with the screen built in. That's not going to happen, but I'm going off topic. Okay, then. You untab these from his left foot. And yeah, you kind of do that because the bottom of his foot pegs in here. And his right foot, right there, that little flat panel there, goes onto that peg in his crotch. This is going awkward places already. Okay, so unfold his foot, or leg rather, and then re-angle it so it actually looks like a leg. And then kind of do the same thing over here. Well, after you pull the body up. And thanks to the transformation joints in his knees, it kind of does give him a double jointed knee, but again, I'll get to that later. Okay, normally what you would do is try to fold the head back first, but since this is a new mold entirely, you can actually do something else here. Let me raise up the camera so I can show you. There we go. Now you can take this section and fold it back, and there's a reason for that. That's part of his new transformation, but you fold these back and open up the this piece here to reveal the head. Then you just kind of oh, another thing that would help is if you got the arms in position and I don't want to press down too hard and make his arm pop off because it's already done that. So fold the arms into place because this will make everything easier. And then you just take the tip of the motorcycle. You're not going to see all of it, obviously, but not all of it is important. You just need to get the basic idea of fold that down. And I didn't need to raise his arms up now, did I? No. So, there. And yes, you can fold these back into place if you don't want him wearing his armor. And there is one big flaw in this toy, and it's the fact that he has noodle legs. The ball joints on his hips are real loose. So he turns into Limp Noodle Autobot. And I know the whole, you can coat the inside of the cup with super glue and then put it back on, or you can apply it to the hip. No, you can't apply it to his hips. This entire central joint here, made of 3 ball joints and a peg, all of that is unpaintable plastic. And I've actually got him to stand before by putting him into a wide-legged stance. But I think I may have to do something. Oh yeah, another thing about his transformation. You can fold the handlebars in, but they get in the way of his head and they don't always fold in all the way. I just leave them out because they're not really... They're not noticeable. I'll just put it that way. Oh, pardon me. Tickle in my throat. And there we go! He's standing up and not being a limp noodle. Hooray. He does have minor light piping, though it doesn't exactly... No, he doesn't have light piping, and yet his eyes are piped transparent. That's stupid. And I brought my flashlight. So, I'll put that down there. His articulation, and I really don't want to pose him because he's finally standing in a stable position. If I move him, he'll turn back into Limp Noodle. He has the ball-jointed shoulder, which likes to unhinge it, which likes to undo itself. And because it's a ball-joint, it has full universal range motion, in and out. Full 360-degree movement, obviously in both directions. A ball-jointed elbow, universal again. And yeah, that happened. So, there we go. Apparently this arm wasn't molded as securely as this one was. Because I'm noticing a little bit of clearance on that, so... Nope, it's in. He has something of a waist. Very small amount of waist movement. Oh yes, and his neck and head are articulated. His neck is mostly articulated thanks to a transformation joint. And he can sort of look down. He can most definitely look up. And he can kind of turn his head left and right. And because this is from Transformers Animated, he has an enormous chin. What's up with that? He has a thigh swivel. And the knee joint. And as mentioned earlier, due to transformation, he can sort of have a double-jointed knee. Sort of. Oh yes, and like in the one episode of Animated, you can give him the rolling knees. And now he looks like oh god, I don't even want to mention that show. Beast Machine's Rat Trap. God, that's pretty horrible when I have to reference that show. Or that line, anyway. Eesh. And yeah, he has a ball-jointed toe. Trying to get it steady out so I can see if I can get him back into a stable pose. Because now that I've covered the figure, and he doesn't want to stand up, he doesn't want... Ah, there we go. Now, for his accessory pack, you're going to have to keep those raised up for a reason, because this is brand new molding on the toy, and I do not have the original. Oh yes, and before I do move on and talk about this toy any further, I'm going to bring up one of the other changes between this one and the original. And that would be this. The original toy had a gear action version of this, which could spread open. This is just a little hub. That's it. The little blades are already on it. And I'm sure they can be spread open, but you have to use like an X-Acto knife. And yes, I'm going to let Limp Noodle Legs lay down over there real quick. If you can see... Oh, I can shed some light here. Right there, next to my middle finger, the blade is actually connected. They're all connected to the sockets. Or to the round part, anyway. So you can't open it unless you take an X-Acto knife to it. So he's 2 accessories down, 1 giant accessory pack up. Worst part about this is I'm going to have to bring in a giant prop item to make sure he doesn't fall over once he gets the sidecar attached. Now, what you can do is, well, what you want to do is obviously remove the wheel, and first things first, attach it to his right arm. Now, originally this was supposed to split in 2, one forming the sword, one forming a shield for his other arm. But then they decided not to do that, and I'm not sure if anyone knows why or if it was ever explained. And if it was explained, I completely forgot about it. And now that he has that, I'm going to set him off to the side. And starting with the sidecar, you're going to want to take the side panels and push them down. I'm going to show you that right in there, that nice little hollowed out point, it goes all the way up into this part here. And this tabs into it. So we're just going to pull the side doors down for now and fold them out. Next up, gotta... Pardon me, my throat doesn't want to work for me today, amongst other things. So for now you can fold these down, or have them folded out. And one of the nice little clever things you can do with this, before fully transforming it, if you so desire, is to just make it a giant backpack of holding. You know, have the helmet sitting... Oh, that's as far back as it can go. You can make it look like the helmet is just hanging off the back here. And to attach it, these thick joints here and these two little tabs will slot into place. Fold up his arms. Now those two little tabs will go into these slots on his wings. Pardon me, I had to maneuver my leg, getting uncomfortable, because I am not sitting on my knees again, ever. Yeah, right there by my thumb, and parallel to it. Now the thick parts will attach to his waist, and I'm going to be honest here, this thing hangs onto him real tight. Doesn't want to fall off. The connection is very stable. Unfortunately, it makes him unstable. It makes him very, very top heavy, and with the weakness of noodle legs, he doesn't want to stand up ever again. Like that. Now, one of the cool things that you can do now that it's just a backpack, you can actually make him sit up and take on meditative stances. Stances. Those things. Yes, you can make him look like he's sitting and meditating, because you can. Now, with that out of the way, you can raise his arms again and take these side doors and slide them and rotate them into place to form the thigh armor, the thigh pads, or what have you. And you're going to want to keep his arms splayed out, because next you fold these parts out. I'm sorry if that didn't put those out, and raise them up. The instruction manual basically tells you to have them set like this, fold the arm down, and then fold it up. Either way works. And remember the handlebars that I really said didn't matter? They can... This little slot right here where this tabs into the sidecar doors, you can just push the handlebars in there and they just kind of blend in, if, you know, you really want them to not be visible. And there he is, mostly armored up, and the last thing you want to do is pull the helmet up and over, fold it back, and make it clear through these two tabs here. And then just get the helmet on there. And yes, his head without the helmet is very tiny, and that's so it can accommodate the helmet going over his head. And the helmet is kind of light piped. It's piped and painted over, which is stupid. And there, because of his shoulder pads, his shoulders are now hindered in movement, and his thighs are also hindered due to this. But now he has a giant choppy sword. And this only appeared in one episode originally, and everyone's like, why is this getting a toy now? And then he reappeared after the episode, and he put it back on, and it got really messed up after that. And then he died. That's spoilers. I'll leave that part out. Unless you've seen the series, in which case you already know what I was going to say, because you might have heard that first syllable. There. Now, yeah, he's doing the noodle leg thing again. Gonna stand up straight, or do I have to get in the prop? I have to get in the prop. And there's the prop. And it's off center. There. Much better. Now, as I prepare him to stand up, again, this backpack makes him really top-heavy. Oh my god, he's standing up without the prop. That's a first. Now, the reason this is my only version of animated Prowl I have, and since I found out that he was getting the sidecar armor, I kind of skipped getting the original toy. Granted, he wasn't really a shelf warmer, but he was hard to find, but he wasn't hard to find. It was more or less one of those things. Whatever. I'm already 20 minutes over in this review. As you're probably well aware. Closing statements on this toy. I don't have any yet because I need to put up his stat card. As I reach over for it off screen. Again, very heavy on the tape, so you can tell where the tears were. Let me adjust the camera here. 20 minutes on a $10 deluxe toy. That's quite a bit. Yeah, you read that, and if I go too fast, rewind, pause, or go back and pause. Yeah! Stupid tape residue. Sorry about this. There's like a cat hair or something there. And no, it's not because he's shedding, it's because excessive levels of tape! Hopefully you can read some of that. Because you should pause it whenever I get whenever the text gets stable. And there you go. And no, I'm not going to show their catchphrases or the lines printed on their boxes, because 90% of the time they're not even accurate to the character. Anyway, closing remarks on this toy. I got this guy because when I found out he was coming out, and the only Autobot I'm missing in the main cast is the leader class Bulkhead, and I wanted to go for size accuracy. I'm also missing Deluxe Bumblebee, but the reason I didn't get him, his little guns wouldn't slide into his arms properly. I keep saying closing statements, and I'm never going to shut up, so this is actually a good toy. I skipped the original. The problems, hip joints, and I finally get him standing, and now he goes back into limp noodle mode. And then he stands up. Now I really don't want to move him. And I even showed you guys how to do the little backpack trick. And there, and I'm sure you can actually find more. So, I think that's it. And I will see you next week with another review from Transformers Animated. Later.